Hello there, welcome to the Football Bloc. My name is Brandon, and today we're going to react to my round of 16 Euro 2020 match predictions. If that sounds interesting, let's hop right into it.
One step beyond.
So, the round of 16 at Euro 2020 has just concluded. And man, it was great round, some amazing games. If the tournament continues like this, it will probably be the best Euros in recent memory, maybe even of all time. Who knows? So today what we're going to do is we're going to look back on my last video, go through each match and see my prediction and see if I got it right, if I got it wrong. If I did get it right, how close was I? If I got it wrong, how far away from the actual truth was I? And things like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So for the first matchup, we have Belgium versus Portugal. Now, in my predictions video, I did say that this game could really go either way and that both teams are very strong and that Belgium had a much easier path to the knockout stage than Portugal did, which kind of compensates for Belgium's better performances compared to Portugal's kind of mediocre performances. And I expected it to be a close game, and it was a close game. But I got the prediction wrong. I said that Portugal would go through. I feel like I overestimated Portugal's abilities a little bit. I was looking back at how they played at the Nations League in 2019, and I thought that they would replicate that here at Euro 2020, which they unfortunately didn't. But Belgium are a team that I have underestimated in the past, but that's because they're a team that often disappoints. They're a team that look like they could do much better, and I think that's mainly down to the manager, Roberto Martinez. But now is never for Belgium, and I do think that they have a serious chance of winning Euro 2020, especially after this win over Portugal. Now, I do think Portugal were the better team for half, if not majority of the game, but again, this is, Portugal are one of the best teams in the world, so there's no shame in that. And it came down to a moment of brilliance with Thorgan Hazard's really nice goal from outside the box. So Portugal are eliminated, the reigning champions are out, and Belgium go through, I would say, deserved winners, even though it was a very tight match and Portugal played some great football. But yeah, Belgium are through 1-0. Now on to the second matchup, we have Italy versus Austria. Now, my prediction, I said Italy would win this game pretty easily, and I was wrong there. I did correctly predict that Italy would go through, but this game was really tough. This is the first team throughout the whole tournament that have really given Italy a run for their money, and there was a moment there where it looked like Italy might get eliminated. Arnautovic scored a goal. It ended up being disallowed because it was offside, but still, they conceded a goal for the first time in, I believe, 11 matches. So Austria, credit to them, they broke Italy's clean sheet record, and they really gave them a run for their money. Now, ultimately, similar to the Belgium-Portugal game, I think a moment of brilliance really decided the match with Chiesa's amazing goal. And then after that, I think Italy's class started to really show, and that they're just a better team than Austria. But Austria, all credit to them. They played really well. They didn't really have the best group stage, but they end this tournament on a very high note, even though they're going home. Now on to this match, France versus Switzerland. And this was a crazy match. I don't think any of us saw this coming. I predicted that France would beat Switzerland. I said in my prediction video, as I'm always a person, I've said this over and over again, I think this French side is overrated, and I think this game really proves it. I think this game basically vindicated everything I've been saying. I did say that Switzerland would give them trouble, and I did. But however, I didn't expect that they ended up being the one progressing through to the quarterfinals. But I did also say that France would rely so much on individual talent, specifically Paul Pogba and the way he connects with Mbappe and Benzema. And if you look at the 3 goals that France scored, 2 from Benzema, 1 from Pogba himself. The 2 goals from Benzema were created by Pogba. So from there on, I was like, okay, this is expected. France are just going to ride the game out, even after they went down 1 goal and they were to come back. But France just weren't able to compose themselves, and Switzerland really fought hard and really came back. And then by extra time, both teams were just tired out, and ultimately Switzerland went through on penalties. Now, this was a crazy game. I had no idea. I did not see this coming. I don't think many of us saw this coming anyway. And yeah, this is a prediction that I got very wrong. Now on to this match, Croatia versus Spain. Another amazing match, also on the same day. And while I did correctly predict Spain to go through, I had no idea it would see 8 goals between the two teams. I thought Spain were going to squeak by 1-0 victory, and while Spain were the better team, Croatia were not far behind, and they did make it tough for Spain. I was just not expecting this many goals. This game was absolutely crazy. First off, you had the goalkeeping error from Unai Simon, and then it looked like Croatia were in the driving seat, and Spain fought back for 3 goals. It looked like they were going through, and then similar to the France match, they just couldn't compose themselves. Croatia just really reinvigorated themselves in the last 10 minutes and then tied it 3-3. Now, again, also similar to the France-Switzerland match, Croatia were very tired. They looked like they were out of it, but Spain just had more gas in the tank. They were able to bring these great players off the bench. And even though Croatia did have 1 or 2 chances to win it, Spain ultimately scored 2 more goals to win the game 5-3. Now, going forward, they do have some very obvious defensive frailties, but still, just the way they control the game, the way that they can score so many goals now, they've really gotten out of that. They really fixed their problems. They started off the first 2 games. They were unable to score. Now they just scored 10 goals in the last 2 games. So they are a very dangerous team going forward, even though they have some problems defensively. They're very dangerous. They could potentially make an even farther run in this tournament. Who knows? Now, on to Sweden versus Ukraine. I did correctly predict that this game would be very evenly matched and that either team could realistically go through. I incorrectly got the winner, though. I did say that Sweden would win. Now, I do think that Sweden were unfortunate to have that red card in extra time, as that really sealed the deal for them pretty much. After that red card, it just looked like a matter of time before Ukraine find the winner. But still, they didn't play terrible, and Ukraine, they got the job done. They did what they needed to do, and they march on to the next round. Even if they are a little lucky to make it this far, they've done what they need to do. They've done enough to make it this far, so credit to them. Now on to England versus Germany, which heading into the round of 16 is probably the match most people were looking forward to, the most anticipated match. And I gotta say, it was relatively boring for the first 50 minutes, 60 minutes. Relatively boring game, but that's England's style. They kind of just nullify their opponents, and I think that Germany, the way that they play this tournament, England was probably the worst team they could have been matched up against, just because if you look at Germany's strengths, it's in attack, and their weakness, or massive weakness, is in defense. Now, you look at England, they've been struggling in attack a little bit, but their strength has been their defense. So it's a complete opposite of what Germany are, and England were able to just completely nullify Germany's defense. Their wingbacks weren't able to get on the ball. Their strikers barely had any touches in England's box, and then England just played the game at their own pace and then grinded down Germany and then scored 2 goals in the second half. I incorrectly predicted this. I got this one pretty wrong. I thought that Germany were just going to be able to be a free scoring side, that they would score 3 goals against England. I did correctly predict that England would get 2 goals. I thought it was going to be a very high scoring match, a 3-2, but Germany just were really disappointing. They did have a few chances that they should have scored and they missed, but England were by far the better team, even though the game was very boring for the first 60 minutes. So yeah, I got this one pretty wrong. And England, even though they again have some trouble in attack, they look like a very dangerous team going on. Who knows? Maybe it's coming home. Maybe 2021 is the year that it finally comes home. Who knows? Now on to Netherlands versus Czech Republic. Now this in my opinion, this is probably the biggest shock of the round of 16, simply on the result. Now, obviously, you have the France game, you have Switzerland going through, but still, like, France got eliminated on penalties. Penalties is kind of a toss-up. This one, though, Czech Republic just outright beat the Netherlands. I did not see this coming at all. Czech Republic are a team that I have underestimated a lot throughout this tournament, but still, beating the Netherlands. And again, Netherlands are a team that I said are going to flop, but I didn't know it was going to be against Czech Republic. And I also thought that they kind of rided out the storm, that Frank de Boer finally was able to get this team working, get this team firing on all cylinders. But yeah, I think their results, like the results on paper for the Netherlands, have kind of been a little bit misleading. Like, for example, that 3-0 win over North Macedonia in the final day of the match, or group stage. They, on paper, won 3-0, but if you watch the match, North Macedonia were the better team for parts of the match. So I think Czech Republic are a team that you can't do that against. You can't underestimate them. You can't give them an inch, because if you give them an inch, then they'll take a mile. And that's what they did here. Now, obviously, De Ligt did get a red card, and that did change the complexion of the match. Czech Republic had a lot more freedom going forward, but Czech Republic were the better team throughout the entire match, even before the red card. So very much deserved winners. Patrick Schick scores another goal, 4 goals in the tournament so far. And yeah, another prediction I got wrong, but what a shock result. Now on to the final match that we're focusing on today. We have Wales versus Denmark. Now, in my predictions video, I did say that Denmark are a class above Wales, and I did think that they would win convincingly. And I got that pretty much right. Now, obviously, I didn't see Denmark scoring 4 goals against Wales, and Wales having no response at all. But yeah, this was pretty straightforward. Wales, decent team. They earned their spot here, but Denmark are just on fire right now. They're just so motivated. They're just in such great form coming off their last game. Completely wiped the floor with Wales. So yeah, pretty straightforward result here. So anyway, guys, that'll be it for today. Round of 16 has been absolutely amazing. I just hope that the quarterfinals and the semifinals and everything beyond that is just as good, or at least half good as this, because this has been wonderful. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name is Brandon. This has been the Summer Football Fest presented to you by the Football Bloc. Hope you guys have a nice rest of your night.
One step beyond.